Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is my first official YouTube video. I haven't recorded a YouTube video since I think 2014, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, I just come on here to show you guys Judah so you can meet him. He is 4 months old and he doesn't like to wear pants. But he is a breastfed baby. In the beginning, when he was first born, I ended up having a C-section. So my milk did not come in until maybe 4 days after he was born. So we did have to do a little bit of donor milk, and we did have to do a little bit of formula. But it only lasted for maybe 2 days because right then my milk came in. But that's what I'm here to tell you guys about. So this is Judah. Judah. He is a very chunky man. And he loves to show the ladies his legs. But anyways, this is my little baby. My firstborn. And well, first let me just talk to you about his name. And that situation back there, excuse that. That is my saving grace station with my pump and my lamp, so at nighttime when I get up with him I can see. But anyways, so yeah, so about Judah. He was born in October 10th 2017, and he was a 7-pound baby. But like I said, I ended up having a C-section. Okay, so this is how, let me start from the beginning. Before I got pregnant in January. And before I got pregnant, well, let's rewind it all the way back. Let's just get deep into it. My husband and I, we went to a conference, and I'm not sure if you ever heard of a preacher named Dr. Matthew Stevenson, but he prophesied to us. He's watching VeggieTales. But anyways, he prophesied, he called us out of the crowd. He called my husband and he said, "Is that your wife?" And Zach was like, "Yeah." So he called both of us up, and he prophesied to us some major things that have shifted our life, our perspective in a crazy way. But anyways, he prophesied to us, and he told us he told me that I was going to be a mother, and that I will be a mother in the spirit. And he said, "Prepare yourself now, because you're about to be a mother." And I think that was in April. I'm thinking it was in April. I don't remember, but I saw the video. But I think it was in April when he prophesied that to us. So fast forward. We went through the months and man, I think I'm gonna be pregnant. And then I really wasn't pregnant. And then right when I was just like, you know what, God, whenever you want me to get pregnant, I'll get pregnant. And I got pregnant in January. And yeah, so I got pregnant in January. And we went to another conference. A lady that we know was hosting a conference. And it was a conference basically about seeing in the spirit. And I was there, and I looked up after we got finished praying, and I kept seeing rainbows on the wall. God was showing me rainbows on the wall, and we all know that rainbows, and in a godly way, it means covenant or promise. So I was like, okay, that's cool. So then I got pregnant in January. I was already pregnant when we went to that conference. I was already pregnant. So, and I didn't know yet. I think I had just got pregnant and I didn't know. We had just came off of an 8-day water fast. And right when we came off, I got pregnant. Because, the way that the days lined up when I had him, it was right when I got pregnant. So, I found out that I was pregnant in February. And I told Zach it was Valentine's Day, or a couple days before Valentine's Day. And I had put the pregnancy test in a little bag, and I put a little card in there, and he looked in the bag, and I was like, well, we have a baby on the way. And yeah, so, and we told our parents, and we both surprised, my parents and Zach's mom, with the pregnancy, and they were all excited and stuff like that. And so I think about maybe when I started hitting maybe about the end of my 2nd month pregnant and maybe going into my 3rd month, I had started to get really sick. And I was like, oh man, you know, I really don't know what's going on, but I kept having like this horrible, horrible, horrible morning sickness. And I was like, you know, I was reading up on it and it was like, you know, it'll go away after a couple of weeks, you know, it's just morning sickness and stuff like that. But I was having like all the time sickness, like around the clock sickness. So I was just like, okay. So I was just throwing up. I would eat stuff, and you know, as I would eat stuff, I would throw it up, and I could never keep anything down, and I was losing weight. So I had found this video about women who had sickness all the time, and it was a condition called HG. I have no idea how to pronounce it. It's like hypermeningitis or something. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I just call it HG. And I ended up having to get prescribed, a medicine called Diclegis, which was basically, I think it's part vitamin B supplement that helps you with nausea, because I would throw up all the time. Like, it was like a routine for me. And even sometimes when I did take the medicine, I would still throw up. But I was giving God the glory because I was taking the medicine and I was able to keep some food down. So that was really good for me. No, so I went through my pregnancy, had morning sickness a lot, you know, even with the medicine. And eventually, I came up to the point where I had him. Yes, I had him. And the day that I had him, I was at home. I had just went on maternity leave from my job, and it was that Monday. And I had got up that morning and I had went for a little walk around my neighborhood because I loved going walking in like October and the cooler months in the mornings. Oh. So I got up and I went to go take a walk, and I came back in and I laid back down for a little bit, and I got up, and my plan was to get up and clean because I was in like this nesting mode. Like, I got to get this stuff together. His room and stuff was together, but my room and stuff was not together, and my house downstairs was not together. So I was like, okay, so I'm going to get up and clean. I got up and I went to go use the bathroom. And when I sat down to use the bathroom, my whole pelvic like shifted. And I was like, man, you know, that was hurting. And I was like, okay, well, you know, maybe it's just the baby dropping. Because when I went to the doctor the last time, they told me I was only 1 centimeter. So I was just like, you know, the baby, he can't be coming out. So I went to the bathroom and my whole pelvic shifted. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I texted Zach and I was like, you know, my pelvic just shifted and I don't know what's really going on. And he was like, well, you know, just let me know if you need for me to come home. So I was like, okay. So, you know, I just sat there for a little bit. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I started having these crazy, crazy, crazy contractions, like out of nowhere. And I was like, oh, like it kind of caught me off guard because it was like I went from having no contractions and barely having Braxton Hicks to having like these full-on blown contractions that were like a minute apart. So it was just like, okay, what do I do? So I texted Zach and I was like, yeah, I think you should come home. And I called my mom and I called his mom, and I let her know that, you know, I'm in labor. So by the time everybody got here, my mom and Zach got here, I was in the floor on my hands and knees, like struggling with these contractions because they were coming so fast and so continuously. And I was like, man, are they supposed to be this strong? Because I had even called my OB and I was just like, I think I might be in labor. And they was like, well, you know, they were talking to me and like they were asking me questions and I could not talk. So they was like, yeah, you need to go over to the hospital. So I was like, okay, cool. So Zach gets here and I put my clothes on, and, you know, my bag is already packed, thank God, because I'm glad my bag was packed. But my clothes, I put my clothes on and we ride to the hospital, which was about maybe 20 minutes away. And it seemed like it literally took like 5 hours to get to the hospital. Like I was going through. So we got to the hospital. And mind you, let me just add that my hair is natural. I just got it straightened, but my hair is natural. And I had put my hair in like these little mini twists because I knew that I wasn't going to want to do my hair. And I didn't finish my hair that night. I was supposed to finish my hair and I didn't end up finishing it. I had left like a little piece out in the front, like maybe this much, and I had it like in a little bun. It was crazy. So my hair was undone and I looked crazy. I had on like this real crazy dress because that's the only thing I wanted to put on. and my hair was like crazy in the buns. And we pulled up to the hospital, and everybody's like turning around looking at me because I'm like, get this baby out of me. So they asked, like, they're saying, hey, would you guys like a wheelchair? And I'm like, no. So I walk to the elevator, go up to the elevator, and we buzz into the hospital, and they're like, hi, I help you down. I was like, can you please let me in? I'm in labor. So they buzz me in, and I go sit down at the table to give my information for my insurance, and the lady is trying to ask me all these questions, and I'm just like, Zach, questions. Like, at this time, I'm only giving like 2-word sentences or 2-word answers to everybody. So, you know, the lady sees that I'm in this excruciating pain, and they put me into the triage room where they tell me to change my clothes, and they check me, and by the time they check me, I'm like 2.5 centimeters. So, you know, I was like, okay, cool. So they asked me to get up. They're going to move me into the laboring room, and I walk down the hallway, which is literally down the hall. And by the time I walk down the hall, I am 5 centimeters the next time she checks me. So I'm like, okay, oh my gosh, this thing is going pretty fast, and I have like no pain medicine or epidural. So I asked if I could get on the bouncy ball to kind of ease the pain. Got on the bouncy ball, it made it worse. I was like, okay, so let me just try to pee. And I went to go try to use the bathroom, and I could not use the bathroom. So I was just struggling, and my labor was going so fast. And this is all like within maybe less than 2 hours. So the lady checks me again, and I'm about maybe 7. And about this time, they asked me, they're like, okay, so do you want epidural? And I was like, sure. And they were like, well, you know, you're kind of close to 10 centimeters, and, you know, we don't want to give you the epidural and then you not be able to push. So they decided to give me like a slight epidural, you know, like a slight pain medicine. I could still feel the contractions, but it was kind of to take the ease off. So they ended up giving me an epidural. By the time they gave me an epidural, I was about 8.5 centimeters. And by the time, you know, I was cool with this epidural, you know, I was finally relaxed, and they hooked the catheter up, and I was finally able to use the bathroom, and everything was going good. And so the lady comes in maybe about 10 minutes later, and I'm at 10 centimeters. And she's like, okay, so, you know, we're going to come in and we're going to get ready to push. So this is the thing. This is when it all goes haywire. When, you know, it seemed like, I think they were saying like, it was like maybe 5 other women that were there having their babies that day, or that were in labor. So I had to wait for the doctor to come in, and, you know, the nurses would come in and, you know, help me to push and stuff like that. But it seemed like he was kind of stuck. Like his head was about to come out, and it was like he was kind of stuck, and he wouldn't move past my pelvic bone. So I was pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing for hours after that. You know, my pregnancy and my contractions had went so fast, but it's like when I got the epidural, you know, it kind of just like froze. And I guess he kind of got relaxed, and I wasn't pushing enough maybe. I don't know what it was, but he couldn't come past my pelvic bone. And literally, when I got my epidural, it was maybe about, let's say it was about maybe 2 o'clock. I didn't have him until 3:30 a.m. the next day. So it was crazy. And from the time I got my epidural, I was just pushing, and he was right there. We could see his hair, all his hair. He had lots of hair, and I had lots of heartburn. We could see his hair, but he just wasn't coming out. So it was just like, okay, what do we do? And about 2:30, the doctor had finally came in to check me. Finally, she had came, and, you know, she was like, okay, Miss Astro, I need you to push. And, you know, by this time I was exhausted, tired. I couldn't eat anything, and I was tired. I hadn't eaten anything that morning. So she's like, okay, well, you know, this last push, if he doesn't come out, then we're going to have to give you an emergency C-section because his heart rate is dropping. So I'm like, Lord, please help me. Please help me, please. I don't want to get a C-section. I knew from the jump that I didn't want to get a C-section because I knew how hard it was on the body. But I pushed that last time, and I gave it everything I could, and I was just like, you know what, I am exhausted. I was just like totally done. So after that, you know, they gave Zach his little suit to put on. They gave me my little hairnet to put on, and they rolled me into the emergency room to get an emergency C-section. And now, remind you, they had gave me Pitocin to kind of get the contractions moving. that wasn't helping. That was just making it worse. And I was just like, y'all, I can really feel this. So when they had took me back for surgery, I could feel, you know, I had feeling. And they were poking me. They was like, ma'am, can you feel that? And I was like, are you guys cutting me? Because, you know, you felt something, but you didn't really feel it all the way. So I thought they were cutting me. And it was like, okay, so we're going to have to just end up giving you some medicine to put you out. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'll take it. They put the medicine in a little tube, told me to count backwards. And before I could even start praying, because I won't do no count, I was praying. Before I could start even, you know, praying, I was knocked out. So after that, I woke up and Zach was in the room and he was holding the baby. And I had a big old fat boy that weighed 7 pounds, almost 4 ounces. And we were all excited. Uh-oh, what are you doing? So that is my birth story. It was pretty rough. Like the C-section, whole ordeal with the C-section, because, you know, you can't really walk, can't really do anything, can't really bond with your baby. And, you know, he ended up losing weight in the hospital because, you know, my milk wasn't coming in. But we see now that, you know, he's a big hunk now, and he's 4 months. And right now he is rolling over, and he is teething because he has some teeth that's coming. So I just wanted to share that with you all. I'm just giving God the glory for, you know, through this whole pregnancy, because I had a rough pregnancy. Oh, let me just tell you guys something. I had this bad symptom of pregnancy. When I started taking the Diclegis, I don't know if it was the medicine or what it was, but I had this crazy thing where I could not stop spitting. So like from like 3 months until like the last day I went to labor, I would walk around with cups, like full of tissue, because I needed something to spit in. It was the craziest thing. Like, it was like outrageous. I couldn't go anywhere without spitting. And it came to the point where I didn't even want to go anywhere anymore, because not only was I fat, not only was I chunky from being pregnant and hurting, but I was spitting. And I was like, man, I didn't even know pregnant women, this happens to pregnant women. Like, I'd never met anybody that spit before. And it was just crazy. Like, at nighttime, I had to sleep with like a towel in my mouth, like, or over a towel, because if not, like, I would just drool everywhere. It was a mess. And I have no idea why that happens, but yeah, that's my birth story. And this is my little man. And we look forward to giving you guys some more videos and seeing you. And so you can see him and watch him grow. I have lots of family that's out of state. So, you know, I'm hoping that these will kind of help them feel like they're there to watch him grow and stuff like that. So thanks for watching, and see you next time.